Hi, my name is Corinne Hyde, and I am a professor at the Rasier School of Education at the University of Southern California, for those of you who don't know me. And I have been doing some research lately with my colleague, Dr. Kimberly Ferrario, who's also here at Rasier. And we've been looking at the concept of what we term side-channel conversation, which would be conversation that happens in a synchronous online classroom that is simultaneous with the main conversation. And so generally, this is facilitated by a chat pod. So you have the main conversation going on, the instructor and the students are talking to each other, and then you have the chat pod that is simultaneously having conversation occurring as well. And we've been looking at this because we've seen some interesting things happening. We did a couple of mixed method studies where we did some observations and some surveys and some interviews to try to determine exactly what's going on with this side channel and whether it's beneficial or not. Is the chat pod actually helpful to what's going on, or is it, as some people argue, a distraction? Should we be minimizing this or getting rid of it in the classroom to help students focus better? And what we found was that an overwhelming majority of our students told us that the chat pod was beneficial to their learning, that it really helped them in the classroom. And based on what we looked at in terms of how people participate and the ways in which they participate, this was borne out, that the chat actually does help to increase participation, and it increases the level of contribution of all of the students. We found that the side channel in the chat can serve as a kind of cultural tool, a scaffold for learning. We found that it can help to create a sense of community. So I think this is particularly important in an online setting where, the first question people usually ask me about teaching in this program when they find out I'm teaching teachers is, well, how do you have any relationship with your students? How do you have any sense of community? And I think that there are many ways to do that, of course, but the side channel helps to facilitate that. So there certainly are instances in which the chat pod can be a distraction, but we found that it was typically a distraction when it wasn't facilitated properly. And so what we're trying to do over this and the next few videos is to give you some tips as to how to use the chat pod in a way that's effective and that won't actually distract from what's going on in the classroom, in the main conversation, in the front channel conversation. So as you watch the 3 videos that follow this, you'll get some input on how to facilitate the chat in the whole group and in small groups, and then how to use the private chat effectively as well. So give the videos a watch, check them out, then go apply this stuff in your classroom for a few weeks. And then let us know how it works. See if this changes your view of the chat at all, or how you end up using it in your classroom. Hopefully you'll find it beneficial.